Hey everyone! In our last episode, Cassian found himself face to face with Red Eye, Vilzone's top hunter, who issued a daring challenge. As we kick off this new episode, tensions are high and uncertainty looms. Join us as Cassian navigates the perilous path ahead, where every step brings him closer to the ultimate showdown. Welcome back to the thrilling saga of Cassian's journey. In a dimly lit room, a figure, appearing as a villain, sits on a chair conversing on the phone with their boss. They discuss the murder of Bloodrain, emphasizing that Bloodrain was never useful to them. Reassuring their boss, the figure mentions that Gadam Vilzone will soon be obliterated. Meanwhile, in Gadam Vilzone, the match between Cassian and Red Eye commences. Red Eye swiftly shoots multiple arrows at Cassian. Evading the arrows, Cassian swiftly maneuvers towards a nearby building. As the arrows pursue him, he executes a backflip, swiftly changing direction, causing one of the arrows to strike the building. Unbeknownst to Cassian, Red Eye sneaks up behind him and launches another powerful, shining arrow in his direction. Reacting swiftly, Cassian adopts a defensive posture, using his remarkable speed to block the attack. The clash results in significant destruction. After landing on the ground, Red Eye scans his surroundings with disappointment evident on his face, realizing his attack has failed. While wondering about Cassian's whereabouts, he hears a noise behind him. Turning in confusion, he sees Cassian approaching, poised for a powerful strike. Recognizing the impending danger, Red Eye swiftly raises his hands in surrender, prompting Cassian to halt. Cassian, frustrated by this sudden turn, grows angry at Red Eye's capitulation. However, Red Eye explains that as a sniper, hand-to-hand combat poses a significant challenge for him. Upon hearing this, Cassian expresses his disappointment at what he perceives as Red Eye's cowardice. Red Eye, though, stands firm, clarifying that he wouldn't have engaged in a fight with Cassian if Driver had not asked him. As Driver continues to monitor them with his drone, Red Eye explains that he did it out of his concern for avoiding serious injuries during the test. With that, he hands something to Cassian which he takes while asking what it is. Red Eye reveals that it is a desire suppression patch used by villains in their Vilzone. He describes its effectiveness when placed under the ear, noting its camouflage with the skin tone. Cassian, surprised to see something like that, wonder who has invented it. Meanwhile, Red Eye hints that Black Hand might be Cassian's next opponent, referring to him as a cute individual and asking Cassian to handle him gently. Remembering his last confrontation with Black Hand, Cassian becomes rather amazed at this remark, wondering what Red Eye found cute in him. Meanwhile, at the match location, the other villains eagerly await the match's outcome, speculating about the winner. Double Blade thinks Cassian is stronger, citing his previous match with Juak. However, Black Hand refuses to agree, claiming it was just luck. Despite his denial, Black Hand knows deep down that Cassian is indeed powerful, something which frustrates him. Stating that Black Hand does not stand a chance against Cassian if he fights alone, Crush suggests attacking him in a group, something which Black Hand disagrees with. While they are busy arguing on that, someone joins them, causing them to look behind in confusion. Standing behind them is Juak, who expresses agreement with Crush, stating that there is nothing bad in ganging up against someone like Cassian. Giving a sarcastic smirk in response, Black Hand tells her to not put him on the same level as herself, comparing himself to a Siberian tiger who hunts alone. In response, Juak begins to explain her point, stating that they already know who the winner is, and all of his opponents are mere pawns that would enhance his reputation. Growing frustrated, Black Hand listens as Juak explains further, her tone turning serious as she reveals overhearing a conversation between Driver and Cassian at the Heaven pub. She recounts the Driver expressing a desire for Cassian to become the boss, a revelation that shocks them both. Despite their disbelief, she insists Chea was also present, encouraging them to verify with him. This leaves Black Hand stunned. Angry at her humiliation at the hands of Cassian, Juak continues to provoke them, stating that he is a baseless villain who does not even have a name, questioning whether they would want such a person as their leader. Juak then brings up the issue of Driver's unfair favoritism towards Cassian, claiming that this behavior is unlike the Driver they once knew. With this, she offers them a choice, to either stand with her team and change the situation or not. Hearing the word, them, Double Blade expresses his confusion, to which she smiles, pointing to the villains standing behind her, stating that they wanted to join her too. Meanwhile, Yuri, still en route, is served a delicious meal on the plane. She expresses gratitude before checking the time and realizing there's still a long journey ahead. As she eats, she gazes out the window, reminiscing about Gangu and hoping he's not skipping meals. Back in the Vilzone, Cassian sits down eating a sandwich. He recalls how Red Eye gave it to him to wish him good luck for the next match. Glancing at the sandwich, he can't shake off his suspicion about Red Eye's intentions, remembering Jeff's warning that there's no such thing as a free meal. As Cassian ponders this, someone approaches him, causing him to look up and find Black Hand standing before him. Cassian remains composed, anticipating him to be his next opponent. However, Black Hand, barely able to contain his anger, demands to know what Cassian did to gain Driver's support. Discarding the sandwich, Cassian questions Black Hand's sudden hostility, prompting him to repeat his question. Having diverted Cassian's attention to him, Black Hand then gives Crush a chance to leap up and launch an attack on him from behind. Figuring it out, Cassian quickly dodges the attack when Double Blade takes his chance and attacks him from behind. Annoyed by their simultaneous attempts, Cassian launches a counterattack on Double Blade in the middle of the ambush, leaving him astonished. Sensing the danger, Double Blade quickly maintains a distance. Watching him, Cassian smirks, asking if they really expect to defeat him by ganging up on him like that. Just then, Juak's weapon flies through the air from above and is about to hit Cassian, who barely manages to dodge it, while getting surprised. Landing right in front of him, Juak then smirks and launches an attack in the form of a drunken dash. Meanwhile, Driver and Crow sit on a building roof, anticipating the results of the fight. Sipping on a drink, Driver wonders how Cassian must be doing, while Crow remarks that he's like a dark duckling who always keeps quacking. Hearing this, Driver realizes he doesn't even have a villain name and wonders what they should choose for him. As they discuss this, Red Eye finds them and joins their conversation. Seeing him, Driver asks if the fight is over, and Crow expresses her curiosity about who won. However, before anyone can reveal anything, Driver suddenly gets a signal and becomes shocked. Confused by his reaction, Crow and Red Eye turn to him and ask what's wrong, but he remains silent, focusing on a specific location on his goggles. Suddenly, a powerful explosion erupts from a building in the Vilzone, causing the villains to become shocked and confused. Following that, Cassian crashes into a building, enraged by the Deceptive Villains' attempts. Intent on striking him down, Crush leaps into the air, raising his weapon to launch an attack. However, before he can act, Cassian advances and seizes his weapon. Disarming him, Cassian delivers a powerful punch to Crush's face. Meanwhile, Black Hand rushes forward, seizing the opportunity to attack with a powerful punch. But before he can strike, Cassian swiftly maneuvers behind him and grabs his hair. Yanking him backward, Cassian delivers a forceful kick to his back, causing intense pain. Fueled by anger, Cassian then lands a punch to Black Hand's face, sending him crashing to the ground. Enraged by his failed attempt, Crush charges from behind to launch another attack, but Cassian kicks him away once more. Meanwhile, Juak attempts to strike with her weapon, but Cassian deftly dodges it. Leaping into the air, Cassian then grabs Juak by her hair, shocking her, and then launches a powerful attack. Defeated by him, all the villains lie motionless on the ground as Cassian stands still, emanating powerful waves of energy. Watching him, Black Hand realizes his immense strength. Acknowledging their defeat against Cassian, he wonders where such a powerful opponent came from. Meanwhile, Cassian turns around and notices two more villains, Hammerboy and Pointer, observing the fight while remarking that he is not an easy prey. Seeing them, Moros expresses frustration at their never-ending attempts, but Cassian remains confident, dismissing them as mere fries. Frustrated by his remark, Pointer prepares to attack him, but Cassian's intimidating stare makes him frightened, causing him to halt. However, just then, a third villain named Iron Mask comes dashing from behind them, eager to teach Cassian a lesson. Leaping into the air, he tries to launch an attack, proclaiming that he'll bring peace to the Vilzone by killing Cassian. However, despite his claims, He fails easily as Cassian effortlessly dodges the attack without even budging. As he crashes into the wall, Cassian feels more annoyed by his clumsiness than threatened. Seizing the opportunity, Hammerman raises his weapon and launches a hammer shot in Cassian's direction, declaring that their hunt has begun. Evading the attack, Cassian proceeds forward at a great speed. Witnessing this, Pointer steps in front of Hammerman, hoping to take advantage of the situation. Frustrated, Hammerman tells him to move aside and let him continue, but he refuses to listen. With a resolve to defeat Cassian, he begins to twirl his spear, aiming to unleash the power of the fire spear in an attack. Before he can launch an attack, Cassian summons his flames of darkness, directing them at Pointer, causing both him and Hammerman to become confused about the nature of the flame. Shocked to see this, Crush begins to wonder whether Cassian is a mage, while the others remain silent in shock. Advising them not to overreact, Duak pushes Crush forward as bait and then hurls her weapon towards Cassian. In response, Cassian employs his powerful Shadow Slicer to cut her weapon into 2 pieces. While he is occupied with that, Crush leaps up once again, attempting to launch an attack. However, Cassian, with a slight move of his finger, effortlessly slices his weapon into 2, leaving Crush stunned. Turning around swiftly, he then unleashes a powerful attack on Crush, causing him to crash to the ground and become motionless. With the defeat of Crush, Cassian stands victorious, yet the battle rages on as more villains converge upon him. Stay tuned for the next episode, where Cassian's resilience is put to the ultimate test against relentless foes. The fight for supremacy in Vilzone reaches its climax. Don't miss the thrilling upcoming episode.